Right then, today we're going to be talking about and summarising the Inside Star Citizen episode from yesterday, as well as the roadmap roundup in regards to progress that's been made, things that have only just started, etc. etc. My name is Jacob, welcome to Shift Studios. So from the Inside Star Citizen episode from yesterday, Thursday the 20th, Chris and Jesse feature on this episode, of which they talk pretty much entirely about new throwing mechanic, of which will be coming in 3.11. It's quite funny because essentially they throw a toilet roll, they throw pumpkins, they throw like the smallest thing of a cherry, and then they do this absurdly cruel thing and throw a pico. I'm disappointed. I'm on Jared's side with this. Anyway, so the throwing mechanic has honestly needed some work because, as Jesse points out, it is inaccurate and it can be quite inconsistent in some scenarios, like things being more bouncy than the others and maybe not quite so realistic and various other things. That's sort of the issue I've had, but I'm sure everyone's is different. Now, they want to change the throw so that you can decide whether you want to do it underarm or overarm, which is cool. Overarm's going to, of course, work better for throwing things over things, and then, of course, underarm for the vice versa. Whereas before, essentially, depending on how you actually do it, the game kind of makes up its own mind in terms of whether it does underarm or overarm. The idea later on is literally to be able to throw anything that you can pick up, so I can just imagine, throwing toilet roll at people, or even, or to be more realistic, data encryptors, or the crypto cards, as they're called. The idea later on down the line is to have G to be the key to actually change what you're throwing rather than actually throw, and then left click to throw over, and then the right click to throw underarm. Not quite sure how this is going to work, because if you have a gun in your hand, then you might end up shooting. I guess you've got to select the gun first, and then select your throwable first, and then you can do the left click or right click. But honestly, it might just be easier to have one of the numbers. So of course the number 1 is for your primary weapon, number 2 is for your secondary. Maybe just put it on there somewhere. That might be a bit easier, but then again, having it on G right next to the WASD might be reasonable as well. We're not going to talk about key bindings because, as we know, CIG can't really do key bindings. Jared then moves on to the lighting amendments for day and night cycles. And in my opinion, it's actually quite hard to see between the day and night in the images that are displayed here. And yeah, honestly, I think the way maybe of doing this would be, I mean, you can hear the announcements in RCorp. It might be reasonable to actually have some announcement actually indicate whether it is morning or afternoon or evening. That might be easier, and it's a nice, simple, soft touch, potentially. But then, how about just a clock? A clock would be nice, perhaps. A 24/7 clock, ideally. Jared then touches on EVA hatches and the concepts for these in space stations. And then, of course, that is for the upcoming missions. It then goes on to talk about the turrets being added to these same stations, and that's going to allow for the removal of the green zones. And now this next bit was very much exciting. The initial concepts for homesteads. I am very impressed with these, and the whole idea of the fact that they're actually somewhat working on it, but it might just go down the hole. I think it's probably going to go down the hole. I quite like the mini Death Star one myself. Give me mini Death Star, please. Onward and upward. The roadmap was updated today, so the cargo decks had a very slight amount of progress that had 3 tasks done. What does concern me, however, is we are, 5-6 weeks away? Close to 5 weeks away from the next patch. That's when it's due. And they still haven't started all of the AI tasks. I mean, it may well be much like how the Origin alternate ships that are coming through, which have progressed more than half. It may well be that these 2 AI tasks, that's ship AI hazard awareness and combat improvements polishing. It may well be that these just are going to progress quite a lot all of a sudden, so don't take my word for it yet. Maybe in sort of 3 weeks' time you might be concerned, but maybe they're just going to remove it from the roadmap, who knows. Of course, we've already talked about improved throw. That has had 3 tasks done with 10 that remain. 9 tasks currently remain for the cargo deck. Again, to further into the gameplay tasks at hand, there are the elevator panel updates yet to be done, but also the missile operator mode has yet to be completed. There's no tasks being done with that. On the other hand, they have started the tasks for death animation improvements. 1 task has been done with a total of 4 left to do. Law system has not moved, that's still sitting at 7 tasks done, 7's complete. An additional 4 tasks has been added to the vanilla Origin 100i, with 25 tasks done for the other 2 variants of the 100i, and I expect these have basically just been copied from the 100i and then slightly amended for art purposes and whatnot. And of course, the Mercury Star Runner has had 10 tasks completed, with pretty much half of them left to go. And it's nice to see some 3.12 items having progressed as well. This is actually one of the only tasks, or one of the only patches I think might actually be on time. And to be honest, throwing a few of them from 3.11 to 3.12 might even it out a little bit more. So station-based refining had 3 tasks completed with 19 that remain. Object push and pull, of which we'd actually moved from 3.11 into 3.12, has had 2 tasks done with 3 that remain, although they did expand on a previous roadmap update where there was actually quite a lot to this item, yet they've done like half of it in a week. Well, I'm sure they haven't, but the point is, at least they completed 2 aspects of it this week. They could have been working on it for weeks for all we know, so that's all well and good. The 2 Talon variants have not progressed, and well, that's fine. I mean, they've like 16, 17 weeks to do anything with that, so it's all well and good. The Tractor Beam multi-tool has had its first task completed, which is all well and good. And that pretty much sums up our overview and summary of Inside Star Citizen and the roadmap update. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and forget to dislike. Today's sponsor for the video is to subscribe, so absolutely hit that subscribe button. Thank you ever so much, and goodbye for now.